Welcome to the Gig Show. I'm your host, Stormin' Jim Dorman, along with my co-host, Dangerous Dan Cody. I don't know if he likes that nickname, but we did it last time. And I am with the rock star right now. I don't know if you think my T-shirt's hokey, but anyway,
It's good on you.
Yeah, we haven't been here in a while, Dan.
Yeah.
It's been a bit. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been finishing up an album. Got 2 songs left, and so hopefully shooting for August for a release. But we'll see how that goes.
Right.
And some SPX gigs recently, and got some upcoming acoustic gigs at the pub in Matunic, Rhode Island.
With your partner or alone?
One solo, and I think Tom will be able to make the second one.
Tom Hamilton.
Correct.
The second one. Oh, that sounds really good. Okay, so I was at the show at the Cottage on a Friday night, and you guys are on fire.
Yeah.
I think I missed my cue twice to dance on Daydream Believer.
Daydream Believer.
The Monkeys. I thought you were going to do that break, the little thing. I don't know, I wasn't quite ready, but it was sounding good anyway.
Yeah.
And then later on, Proud Mary.
Yep.
Sometimes I just get that Tina Turner thing kind of comes over me,
Yeah, I mean, just Stormin' Jim Dorman.
Anyway, you had there was a big party going on, something going on that night, what was it?
Yeah, it was, I don't know if there was somebody there, it was a birthday party, but it was a great gig. And
You had a guest drummer.
Yep.
But as always, it's a good time.
Mickey's dad sat in on the drums.
Who's that, Mickey?
Mickey, the owner.
Mickey, the owner of the Cottage. Oh,
Cottage,
wow. See, I should have known. But the Cottage has been very supportive in having you guys there, and it's always a good time. So if do we not any gigs coming up?
Not confirmed yet, but
there will be.
Correct.
Always a good time. So the Cottage in Columbian Square in South Weymouth, always a good time. Really authentic Irish bar, good folks. We love them. We love the SPX band. Sometimes they let me play. I don't know why, and we get well. Let me tell you what I was up to. Just one little thing as a pretend musician. We did an open mic here in this building is Abington High School, Abington Middle School. I think it was the freshman class.
Nice.
Hosted an open mic that they invited everybody for in the cafeteria, and some of you may know, well, probably most of you don't know, I'm also the full-time custodian here at the middle school. So I'm working night shift, we're working 2:30 to 11, and the open mic was at 7 o'clock or something like that. So I got ahead of time. I found out like when I was going, I had to get my work done, so I could hear them playing.
Yeah.
So I should say that it wasn't just Stormin' Jim Dorman, it was Stormin' Jim Dorman and the Calm.
Oh.
Because we had
the calm before the storm.
The Calm before the storm, and we needed a little backup there. So we had brother and sister act, Rick Johnson and Christine Johnson Haas.
My bandmate.
Yeah, and Christine's in your band.
Yeah.
And
how'd you do?
And she's also in the Calm, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
How'd you do?
And it was so funny because I could hear them playing, but the act right before it was really quick, so I was like up there sweeping a little bit, and I knew they were already here and kind of ready to go, and I ran down, and I'm like, we're up next, And they had a lot of people there, spotlight and everything.
Excellent.
Grabbed the guitar, and I said, let's go. So we went in, and then they had, we had to go around the stage was kind of, obviously at one end, a lot of people there. But we got right up there and plugged in quick and went pretty well. We did 2 songs. We did a little Grateful Dead and little Birds, Bob Dylan. You Ain't Going Nowhere. And,
That's right. Very good.
Ripple. We did Ripple. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the name of it. That's not, I don't know if anybody else has trouble naming things, but we did those. And somebody came up to me a few days later and said, "Hey, do you do that for a living?"
Well, I mean, your reputation precedes you,
or something like that. I was like, "What? Did you say that?" But
remember, you're no longer a pretend musician.
I shouldn't say. I shouldn't be so dull.
Right.
I have a little more of that, but I can't help it. You guys, I'm just happy to be able to get to play and do some things like this. But I made a rookie mistake though.
What'd you do?
Didn't wait and check to make sure everybody's sound levels were good. So poor Rick, who would come to play lead guitar on us and everything, my guitar is like my 3 chords are ringing out, and his nice little leads, little fills and things like that were, barely audible.
Oh.
So I feel bad. I'll have to do it again
Yeah, do it
sometime.
again.
And he was good about it. And Christine was doing the backup. We actually looked a little like Peter, Paul, and Mary up there. I thought, it's I tried to look at Christine while I was singing. She looked back, and except Rick wanted to sit. I like to stand.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Hey.
But I was enjoying that the spotlight
Good.
thing. But so I got to tell you, I'm really excited about our guests
Yeah.
today for
It's
this
great.
show.
Great.
We got Jon and Juli Finn on.
Yeah.
They've been playing together for a while, and separately. I've learned more about them getting ready for the show, about kind of some things they've done in the past. I don't know if I should go through all this, but I'm going to try it. Let's see. First of all, they're from Whitman, Mass., just one town over. It's a couple of local folks who play the guitar, like to share their knowledge and talents with their students and fans. They met at the renowned Berklee School of Music, where Jon has been a guitar professor for about 34 years, where Juli earned a degree in guitar wizardry and is now working on her master's in songwriting preeminence.
Excellent.
How'd you like those?
That's
They are musicians, songwriters, recording artists, and performers who have played with many greats in many great rooms and stages. Juli's open for artists such as Joe Satriani, Robin Trower, Ronnie James Dio, is that right? Blue Oyster Cult, and she won numerous guitar contests before she ever went to Berklee. And like I said, I saw a video of her from 1995. Opening up for Joe Satriani. I mean, why does she need to go to Berklee? I'm not really sure. Been in numerous musicals, including Seussical, Nice Work If You Can Get It, Bridges of Madison County, and The Altar Boy. Now, Jon plays for the Boston Pops when they need him, and the Boston Symphony Orchestra, I'm sure whenever they give him a call, hey, Jon, we need you, can you play? He's also performed with John Petrucci of Dream Theater, Carl Verheyen, Vinnie Moore, Andy Timmons, Steve Morse of the Dixie Dregs. I remember back in high school, people going to see the Dixie Dregs,
That's right.
we're going to the Dixie Dregs. New York Voices, Colin Ray, Dweezil Zappa, and Debbie Reynolds. I love Debbie Reynolds. Among others, in addition, he has toured with musical theater productions such as Rent, Mamma Mia, Aida, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Copacabana. I don't say that. Copacabana.
Copacabana.
And I seem to remember him playing in a local production of, right here at Abington High School, back in 2011, of All Shook Up. So, that was cool, because I was the producer on that show, and I'd heard a little bit about him coming in, and then it was amazing. His son and daughter, Stephen and Ashley were playing in the pit band with him. Ashley plays bass, Stephen plays drums, and as one thing I remember, they had a little we had a little glitch, and we had a little problem. We had a 15-minute delay in the theater. I had told Jon that I like the Allman Brothers, so somehow he orchestrated the band into playing. I don't know if it was Memory Elizabeth Reed or something, but I came up and he looked at me and he's like smiling while they're playing it, I was just ecstatic to have that. So anyway, so sorry I've been talking so much. I'm way over here, but these
It's going to be a great show.
So yeah, great show. So we'll take a little break and hear a little bit of them playing Up
and Away.
and Away, right?
Written by Jimmy Webb.
Jimmy Webb. So we'll be back in a moment with our guests, Jon and Juli Finn. Hey, welcome back to the Gig Show with our guests today, Jon and Juli Finn. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, welcome. I think I'm just going to add a little bit to my T-shirt here. I hope this works, because I'm not just with the rock star now. I'm with the rock stars. That's kind of a hard get. Might be crooked, but how's that? Oh, that's terrible.
I love that.
I'll bring it down a little.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
high.
I don't think so. Okay,
Almost, yeah.
we don't want to get
Right, there you go.
Hey.
Up a little.
Too
up
low.
A little.
too low. Anybody?
That looks all right.
That's enough.
There you go.
Okay, we'll do it.
Perfect.
Sorry, it might be off.
Actually, it looks good.
I love
Hey,
it.
Jon and Juli have a new EP out called Tribute, which
we
is
do.
really cool. Like 6 songs, tribute to Bonnie Raitt, which is just awesome. You guys, how did you decide to do this project?
Well, first of all, Bonnie Raitt's a hometown girl. She's from, she grew up in Cambridge. So, I think that was kind of the first thing. Both Julie and I have always admired, the stuff that she does, and I think that when we were trying to think about projects to do, that one just kind of came up, and it just seemed like an easy fit. Quite honestly, I don't think there was a lot of thought brought to it. It was just like, hey, her stuff is really, really cool. What would you add to that?
Yeah, I mean, she's been a big inspiration to me, obviously, as a woman, and she's out there touring at 72. I keep getting emails. She's got more dates coming. I just can't believe it. But she keeps putting out music. There's no limitations to what she's doing. And so I love her music. I'm in the songwriting program, and I thought, let's just put out a record. We didn't want to put too much thought into it. We didn't want to be in the studio for months. We thought we're just going to do it live. We've just been talking about projects to do. We wanted to do more. We want to release more and write more. And so it sort of just emerged as that happened. It took a little longer than we thought, but we had COVID and all this crazy stuff right in the middle of all that. But once we figured out which songs, it was pretty easy to just throw it all together.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a lot of the process felt, at least for me, pretty intuitive. Like when we decided what tunes to play, we kind of got together with the rest of the members of our band. So that the band is let's see, well, there's Joe Santerre, who plays bass, Rich Cesarini, who plays keyboards, and then Larry Finn, who plays drums. Larry isn't actually, we're not actually related, but
Musical brothers.
we just tell people that we are related because we get asked so often. But
Yes.
so once we decided what tunes, we just kind of let everybody know what tunes we were going to play, and then on the day that we recorded everything, we spent maybe a half an hour each tune.
Just sorting out all the details.
Sorting out all the details. But, I mean, those guys are monstrous players.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of thing, it's like as soon as they start to play, I can just kind of hang back and just, sound good just because I'm near them,
Right.
So.
Yeah, when it all gels, you
Yeah, it's really.
fit
Yeah.
into it.
That's how it was.
Yeah, so there's very, very much a case of that. Now, when we did the project, one of the things that we wanted to do was to do it without doing any overdubs. So the audio that's on the videos that we put out is exactly the same as the audio that's on the CD release and on any of the streaming platform releases. And by the way, our music, the album Tribute, is available on all streaming platforms.
Nice. Nice.
It might be a good time to put a graphic of the, the album cover up.
If you have it, here's what the graphic is. Ting!
It's a beautiful photo of the cover. Is gorgeous.
The amazing thing is that is my daughter, Ava.
Yeah.
She has naturally red hair, so I
Oh.
wanted her to stand in
thought it was
for
you.
Bonnie Raitt. Well, people say we do look alike, but she has this beautiful red hair, and it kind of happened from that.
Yeah, there was some, there was a little bit of time, and again, it was a sort of a very intuitive kind of a process. I mean, Ava's been interested in modeling for a long time, and she's a beautiful young girl. So it seemed, and once we got her in front of the camera, it was just kind of unfolded pretty easily, you know. I mean, you know, she doesn't play guitar, and then when we put a guitar in her hands, and she like knew exactly like how to hold it, you know. So,
Well, she
gee, I
did
wonder
take
why
guitar.
that is.
It's a
She
great
did
cover.
take guitar at Whitman Hanson.
Yeah, that's that's right. Okay, so she does play a little guitar.
A tiny.
I forgot that,
She
yeah.
never played for me. It's kind of
How'd you pick the songs for the album? Was there any particular method of which ones you chose, or special meanings, or?
Yeah, we kind of wanted to do a little more rootsy vibe. I mean, how many years has her career spanned? And she's gotten, you know, real rootsy blues, then some rock, and maybe some soft pop in her styles.
Right.
But I chose Walkin' Blues just because, well, it's an old Robert Johnson tune, and I love the vibe, and it's got this cool altered tuning with the capo, neat thing, so I love that. And then Give It Up or Let Me Go has been such a fun one. We played it at a lot of blues jams. I think I learned it specifically to play at the Players Club,
Yeah.
Splash of Blues, one time, and I think it's just such a fun song.
Yeah.
And then we were going to do 5 songs, and then someone said, you got to do I Can't Make You Love Me, because of course it's one of her biggest hits. And we had already planned the sessions, and we'd already gotten the recording finished, and I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? Because this one is going to sound completely different if it doesn't have everybody on it. But I just sat in the studio one day. I did it on a nylon string guitar. I did the vocals. That was all in the studio, the only one. And then Jon added some guitar to it, and then we sent it over to Joe to add the bass. So that is the only one that wasn't recorded live.
Yeah. Sounds great.
And
thank
but
you.
and for the record, her vocal and guitar performance is breathtaking.
Oh, thank
like
you.
you know, so when I added my stuff, it was just like, okay, I'm here too. You know?
It was collaborative. Yeah.
Where did you record it? And
And we have a little home studio that we work out of. Yeah.
Yeah. In the barn.
And it was like some of it was like live or.
Yeah. Well,
Everything but that
yeah,
song.
Okay.
Yeah. All the tracks except for that one were all recorded live.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a great sound to it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Happy
Tell
with
it's live,
Thank
but
you
it's a
very much.
nice recording live for me and other recording enthusiasts. That can be a tricky proposition, doing it all live.
It took some time and effort to really get the sounds right. We there's a guy named Jeff Largent who's a pretty well-known mix engineer.
Yeah.
That we brought him in for the process. So he was there from setup to tracking to mixing.
Yeah.
Like
He helped
all the
us
way
out.
through it. So. Basically he did all the hard work, and we just kind of
Played.
came in at the end and took all the credit.
We give him credit.
Yeah, no,
He deserves it.
Yeah, he did a seriously great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
And the musicians in the band are great. I used to know Rich a little bit, enough to
Oh,
say
yeah.
hi. Because one of my teacher friends here used to have parties that all the people from the Fat City Band would be at,
All right.
or
Right.
Yep.
another band called Basic Black. And they were all. It was funny because I spent a lot of time going to see the Fat City Band
Yeah.
back in the 80s. Like we would go wherever
They're
they were
amazing.
playing, and then to be like at these things at a house party, and they just be
There they
playing.
are, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fun, and Rich was had taken over the
The
piano,
the
Yeah,
keyboard.
he's
so-
still playing with them.
Yeah, he still plays with them from time to time.
I heard that he, got back with them. He'd been with them back then. This was 15 years ago, I think, or something. But enough that if I saw him at the piano mill one time, and he recognized, to say hello.
Yeah. Well, he actually owns and operates the Southeastern School of Music now.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
So,
yes.
yeah.
Right. I
So
did see that.
He and Jack Colombo are they're doing a great job
Yeah.
down there. They've got, I don't know, maybe hundreds of students by now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
They have
Yeah.
lots of lesson room.
Yeah.
But you can hear his parts just come through on these. It's just so great, and the bass playing. I mean, it's just really cool.
They're such a great band.
And it was
Yeah, they
great
really
to
are.
hear with my local band SPX when
Yeah.
we play every show without fail, Angel from Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd loves it, and it's Bonnie's version, and obviously John Prine.
Yes.
Him being the great one he is.
Yeah, when are you playing next, by the way?
There we don't have a next date confirmed yet,
But you'll let us know when you do.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'd
cool.
love
to
We want to come see it.
Yeah, if you guys want to come and
Yeah.
jam, it's a very open
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
group. You
These
know.
guys
cool.
are great. They have backup singers. They get keyboards,
Ooh.
everything. And if someone says, "Hey, do you know this one?" They kind of figure
They
it
know
out.
it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
so
that.
I usually do Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You know,
You know.
the reason I chose that one, I've loved it for many, many years, but I started playing it with my ukulele students.
Yes.
Nice.
And so that one kind of just rose to the top. Like,
really?
oh, we just got to do this one too.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It's so beautiful.
I saw Bonnie Raitt 2 years ago opening for James Taylor at,
Oh,
at
wow.
Really?
Providence. I still call it the Civic Center, but it's the Dunkin' Donuts Center. But
That's
Oh,
right.
Dunkin'
Um,
Donuts. Yeah.
she was great, and she was just blown away. I mean, it was a full house,
Oh, wow.
and I don't know if she hadn't been in that kind of arena for maybe a little while, but she was just blown away at the response to her.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
And she was
We all
phenomenal.
love her so much.
We have a great Bonnie Raitt connection, Dan and I. That Dan's bandmate, and now my bandmate as well, Christine Johnson Haas. Her son, Nick Johnson, is a lead guitar player in the Randall Bramlett band down out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Randall is a well-respected, fairly well-known multi-instrumentalist and singer-songwriter as well.
Yeah, where's his name?
Yeah, he played with he played on like Greg Allman's solo album back in the '70s. Toured with Stevie Winwood for
Oh, so
many
he
years.
is he the Bramlett of Delaney and Bramlett?
Delaney and Bonnie.
No, that's Bonnie
Delaney,
Bramlett, but he's
well,
played with her.
right.
It's actually
Oh, wow.
spelled a little different. His,
Okay.
his has a B, but he was in Sea Level with
Oh, right,
Chuck
with
Leavell.
Chuck Leavell, yeah.
And so our friend's son, who's our friend as well, went down to Atlanta and hooked up with like Jimmy Herring and Colonel Bruce Hampton.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I don't want to. Some people you might know, big guitar people, but anyway. But Randall wrote a song that Bonnie put on her album.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Back about 8 years ago. Let's see. When I Rule the World, I think is the name of it. It's or If I Rule the World, something like that. And it's a kind of funky, real funky, kind of crazy tune. Some people say, "Oh, I'm surprised she did it," but she invited Randall's band to open for her that whole tour.
Wow.
So Nick went and they did tour and they played in Austin where they
Oh
filmed
my
Austin City
gosh,
Limits.
that's amazing.
And Christine and Jeff, they get to go down and see them and get pictures with Bonnie.
That's awesome. That's
That
amazing.
would
and
be
so
a
I've
treat.
played with Nick. And you've played with Nick. I played an E minor and a C chord. Sometimes
he's
a
good.
G and a D and an A minor.
Yeah, I can usually hang right up until that F chord, and then I'm
that
out.
was that was but this guy here traded licks with him back and forth, and I was up there at the next page.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, man.
but that was also
That's
the
so
same
cool.
night we started Angel from Montgomery in D, and I knew it in G.
Right.
Oops.
So,
And I was like, what?
Transpose on the fly.
yeah.
That's right.
But anyway, sorry. But that's
great.
I love that. Good stories.
Maybe might be a good time to break for song. Would you guys be willing to play a song for
Sure.
We'd be honored.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
one of the songs from your new EP?
Yeah.
Should we do a song? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do a new song from our repeat.
All right,
We'd
what
love
are you
to.
gonna do?
We're going to do a song called Dig Deep. It's the only song that we wrote
I love that
on the
one.
album.
Yeah, that song was it's an original, but it's inspired by, the lyrics talk a lot about talk a lot about Bonnie actually.
Yeah.
Well, I was researching for the song and I just scoured through interviews and found some of her words for the song. And
Nice.
she's had a very charmed life. Of course, nobody has a perfect life, but she just is always expressing gratitude. She shows that it takes a lot of hard work. She's willing to work hard, good work ethic, but she's been able to accomplish so much. So it's about that, just reaching within yourself to do what you really want to do.
Great.
I love that.
All right. Well, let's go to that then. Here's Jon and Juli Finn with "Dig Deep."
want it. Live life, love life, and a chance to make a change. I let Lady Luck lead. Never had to scrounge or struggle. Pass it on, share the love. I've always had more than I need. I'm more alive than I was back then. I do more now, feel free in my skin. Dig deep, if not now, then when? You've got to dig deep to get what you want out of life. Play it again. Ups and downs, I've had my fair share. No need to dwell on days gone by. Live and learn, tables turn. Get up or go nowhere. I give my heart and soul. Live a life of gratitude. Invest it all, come and store. Go with the flow. I'm more alive than I was back then. I do more now, feel free in my skin. Dig deep, if not now, then when? You've got to dig deep to get what you want out of life. Play it again. I'm more alive than I was back then. I do more now, feel free in my skin. Dig deep, if not now, then when? You've got to dig deep to get what you want out of life. I'm more alive than I was back then. I do more now, feel free in my skin. Dig deep, if not now, then when? You've got to dig deep to get what you want out of life. Dig deep to get what you want out of life. You've got to dig deep to get what you want out of life. Play it again.
Hey, welcome back. That song was great. I really, really enjoyed that, especially the lyrics. I think I mean, the playing. Obviously, you're playing interested. You're playing, and you're back and forth leads and stuff, and the slide playing. But I kind of relate to the lyrics. So really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent performance.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I just kind of want to jump back. We always ask people a little bit about kind of how they get started and stuff. So, like, we'll stick with John's first to my left. So, when did you first know that like music was a thing? Like, what was your household like? Was it like, was music in the house?
Well, yeah, there was music in the house. There was a Hammond B3 organ, believe it or not, in our living room that my father had inherited from his parents.
Wow.
And he would occasionally fire it up and play some like old hymns and a couple of blues things. And then, you know, years later, we traded it, much to my chagrin, right around the time that I figured out that I learned what a Hammond B3 was.
Right. Uh-oh.
My parents traded it for like an acoustic piano. But be that as it may, you know, my father was always messing around, with the keyboard.
Yeah.
He had an ukulele that he would sometimes drag out and play at parties.
Yeah.
You know, so I would kind of as early as like maybe 5 years old, I would pick the ukulele up and kind of mess around with it. Didn't really do much with it, but I actually started playing guitar at 6 years old.
Wow.
So, you know, I was very young. There was a TV commercial that was out at the time, and I'm really dating myself. There's a product made by a company called Emily called the Tiger Guitar.
Oh.
And it was a plastic electric guitar, and the way the commercial has this kid who's about my age, and he's in his backyard, and he's got the amp set up, and he's like jamming away, and all the neighborhood kids were like at his feet, like adoring him. And I thought,
That sounds good.
that's for me, right? I want to be that guy. So I
Shoot
begged
your
my
eye
parents.
out, kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I asked for a Tiger guitar, you know, for Christmas, and you know, my father, you know, said, look, we looked at the Tiger guitar, and it broke in my hands when I was looking at it. So, you know, we asked Santa to get you a real one, and of course I was disappointed, but I got some lessons, and I started right away, and just loved it, and really never looked back.
Nice.
Wow.
So, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's good or not, but I have lived most of my adult life based on a decision I made when I was 6.
Wow.
That's excellent.
So,
Well, you listened to it, so that was good. You know, you knew. You didn't decide, I need to, you know, do something.
yeah.
What would you say your biggest influences on guitar?
Boy, long list. Okay, so, you know, probably Duane Allman, probably Jeff Beck, Terry Kath from the band Chicago,
Yeah, great player.
Carlos Santana, definitely Steve Morse, George Benson, Eric Johnson, Steve Vai, Chet Atkins, oddly enough.
Yeah.
I love his playing.
Yeah. Chet had the finger picking.
Wait,
Yes.
can we stop right there? Because
Sure.
one of my favorite things is St. John's wort.
Really?
Yeah, I love that.
That's a good tune.
So I'm like Chet Atkins. I'm like Chester and Lester to me. Like, I don't know if that's was an inspiration at all. Chet Atkins and Les Paul.
Well, actually, that tune was actually inspired more. If on the record, it's me and this other guitar player named Guy Van Duzer.
I saw Guy Van Duzer in 1978 at college. He came to our school, my freshman year.
So
amazing.
I had heard Guy Van Duzer play like many, many years ago, and I was just floored. If you don't know who Guy Van Duzer is, it's like imagine, you know, imagine Chet Atkins cloned 4 times, and you know, and then just like, you know, twice as much physical ability, and you know, Guy's just a monster of a fingerstyle player.
Yeah.
So I wrote the tune kind of based on him, and right around the time Guy was actually starting to teach at Berkeley. So I kind of went up to him and said, you know,
Mr. Van Duzer, well, would you consider contributing to my little album? And
you know, like I basically begged and pleaded, and he said, you know, yes, of course, young son, you young buck, you know.
That's cool.
No, but he so on the record, that's me and Guy playing that tune together.
Wow. On the Bull in a China Shop?
Bull in a China Shop,
right.
yeah. And you should know, for the backstory for that one too, you should know that when I recorded my part, I worked out every last note, and then he shows up and just tosses off a couple of takes, and it was perfect.
Wow.
You know, so
Yeah.
you know,
Love it.
yeah, I love
Some
being
can
around.
do
I
that.
love being around that. Yeah.
It's always Guy Van Duzer and Billy Novick Jr.
Yeah.
or something. That was the two. They played a lot of stuff together, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
they're
was,
incredible.
Great stuff.
Julie,
So
how
Julie,
about
yeah,
your
go ahead.
how about your
Yeah.
musical
Okay.
upbringing?
My household was very musical. My father was always in a community theater musical. He played Henry Higgins, Emile de Becque, you know, all those wonderful old musicals. He was the star.
Oh.
And then my mom, she played in Celtic music bands and rock bands and bluegrass. She did all that kind of stuff. So I didn't start when I was 6, but I would say 15 years old, I had gone to my first Bon Jovi concert, and I thought, I better pick up that guitar. And there were guitars all around. My stepfather played guitar too. So my sister tells me, I don't remember it like this, but she said I just picked it up and then I could play. Maybe that's what it seemed like to her. But I just fell in love with it too, and I never looked back. And my earliest influences were obviously all the hair metal bands, and guitar solos were king in that era.
those
So
days.
that was a great time to be learning. But then I was drawn to all the instrumental music. So like Jon was saying, Steve Vai, Eric Johnson, Joe Satriani, all that.
Do you remember the first like paid gig and how that worked?
My very first gig was not paid, but I was in a cover band. We played songs like Little Susie, Lick It Up by Kiss. I must have been 18.
Yeah.
And my very first paid gig, I played at this place called the Red Roof Pub in Lakewood, Washington, with my, I was in an instrumental trio called Destiny.
Wow.
So that was it. I did that for about 10 years. We made $24 each from the door.
There you go. You made something.
We did. It was classic.
Sometimes those $24 gigs are like a badge of pride because you get the $24 gigs. Like those were the ones where you actually get to play your own music a lot of times.
Yeah, we
And
played
that
all
band
our
was
own
all
music.
original, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
all original.
Yeah, it's a thrill. It's fun to play covers, but it's a thrill
that-
to do your
Oh
own.
man,
Is
it
that the band
awesome.
that did Frostbite?
Yes, you heard the Frostbite.
Yeah,
Yep.
Frostbite, yeah. That's what I said. It was really good. You know, I say, I actually need to go to Berkeley if she can play that.
I was 22.
But
I really just wanted a degree.
yeah,
You
no.
know, I mean, I'd done so much. I had a music career, but I was at a crossroads in my life, and I really wanted to work in a college. And I thought, oh, why didn't I get that degree when I was in my 20s? You know.
Yeah. And
never-
so,
never
what
too
kind of
late.
music did you guys connect on at Berkeley? I guess. So it was-
Well, Jon and I, you mean?
yeah.
Well, we first started out in the Experts together.
Yeah, I think it was the first band we played together in.
Yeah.
You know, it was,
We do classic rock.
Yeah, so so
Cover.
Julie and I played in a 70s classic rock cover band called The Experts. It's an 8-piece band with 4 guitars,
Wow.
4 singers, bass, drums, keys.
It's
You know,
hilarious.
so it's
Guitar
hilarious.
everywhere.
You know, it's hilarious because our whole thing is that it's like any tune that has a bunch of guitar overdubs,
Harmonies.
you know, and
You
layers.
can do all the
and layers,
parts.
we can do it all.
You should hear us play Hotel California. We
Yeah.
get all the stuff in.
That's excellent. Jon, what was your first gig? You remember
My
your
first gig, let's see, so probably an elementary school talent show.
Oh.
And then soon after that, we were asked to that same band. There was a kid who lived down the street from me who played drums really well, you know. And we started a band. We were at the tender age of 9, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And so we had like 2, maybe 3 songs that we could play.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we were playing at a. We did a gig at a hospital soon after that. It was like outdoors. I think it might have been for somebody's birthday party.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Great.
but I just remember playing in the tennis
Your
courts.
parents drove you over
Yeah,
with
oh
all
yeah.
your gear.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And you said you were inspired by the rock star type thing. Seeing the guy up on stage and the
Well,
attention.
Yeah.
Did
I mean,
you get that?
Well, you know, I'll say that it never quite played out the way I imagined it would in my head.
All right.
But you know, after a while, like I have a very vivid memory of going into a music store. I might have been maybe 9 or 10, and the guy in the music store let me plug in the electric guitar.
Yeah.
And I picked the guitar up, plugged it into the amp, and played like an A minor chord, like the first chord from House of the Rising Sun. And my life
Everything
was
changed.
over
Yeah.
at that point. It was like, oh, I must do this all the time. Oh my
It's a good
God!
feeling.
You know, like it was that kind of feeling. So at that point, I kind of got to a place where I didn't really care very much about whether anybody else was noticing. I just wanted to play.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's how we, even today, we just love to play.
Yeah.
I
what
mean,
it
everything
is,
else
yeah.
is a bonus of, if we get paid or not, or it's just playing.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of kind of thoughts about that. Is that, I sometimes talk to, people who are sort of coming up in the, trying to make their way in the music industry, and, and I often tell them, it's like, look, you got to be in it because you love it.
Right.
Because if you're doing it because you think you're going to make money, I mean, if you have a good business sense, great,
Right.
but but there's a lot of much easier ways to make money in the world than music.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
money is your primary motivation. Maybe think about another career.
Yeah, it's true.
But
Got to do it for the love of
yeah,
it.
but if you love it, I mean, I have to say, I've by any standard, I feel like I've lived a charmed life.
Yeah, it's good.
So.
Absolutely. Some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things you mentioned, I definitely want to talk about it before we finish up, is the musicals that you guys have worked on, and what that's like. If you enjoy doing that, or is that more like a kind of a good side job?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's so
okay.
fun.
Yeah, it's okay, so I got into it actually quite by accident. I got a phone call from a friend of mine's father, who was a union contractor for the Schubert Theater in Boston. And he calls me and he says, "Hey, listen, they're doing auditions for this this musical that's coming into Boston. It's called Rent." And so this would have been 1996. And if you get the gig, you'll be playing 8 shows a week for a year.
Wow.
And it was going to be for pretty good money. And it's going to be a pretty high-profile, gig if you get it, and that they would want you to audition for 2 chairs. One of them was guitar only, and the other one was for guitar and keyboard. Now, they did tell me that the guitar keyboard chair paid almost twice what the guitar only chair paid. That's a kind of a union thing, but so I kind of went, I want to audition for guitar and keyboard, and then of course, then I had to learn how to play keyboards, but. But I did get the gig, so I kind of fell into it, and then after that, I just started getting calls from that circle. So I did I did quite a few of them. I love it, and it's something that also takes up a big chunks of your time. So
I was gonna say, yeah.
when you're doing a
big
long
commitment.
run, it's like that's pretty much all
that's
you're
your
doing.
life.
Is it hard to balance that with your teaching?
Yes, I would say, yeah. Not impossible, but you got to be kind of, like partying on the weekends is definitely out of the question. Like you gotta,
You got to do 5 shows on a weekend. probably.
you're doing 8 shows a week, and then you're teaching a full-time schedule.
Wow.
So it's
Dedication.
You got to be on it.
Well, I figured out in my research for talking today was that I actually did see a show that you played in, which was Mamma Mia, which is back around I didn't look 2002 or something, or probably right in that 2002, 2003, and it was I had to do a review for the Patriot Ledger. That was a kind of thing we had to go see the show that night and then go home and write it, and it was in the paper the next day.
Right.
Wow.
Which was extremely stressful. But I will say this one thing, I hadn't done a lot of the big shows in Boston yet at that time. And to go into the little Colonial Theater, and the music was just blasting. This rock, just the guitars were just, I was just ecstatic, So it made it easier to write because there was just such energy, and the whole thing was. I said at the end, I said, everybody gets up and sings the ABBA songs at the end,
Oh, man, it's so
which I
great.
wasn't like I was kind of anti, a little bit some of that stuff, back in the '70s.
Sure.
But I said, I couldn't help myself.
Well,
So
and
catchy.
it was very much like the same thing. Like when I took that show, I thought, oh God, I gotta listen to it. And then and I'm like, a couple of weeks in. The first time I did it, I think we did 14 weeks, and a couple of weeks in, I'd get to like the fourth song. I was like, oh God, I love this song. So, wait, did I say that? Okay, all right, and then by the end it was like Dancing Queen. It was like all in.
So fun.
It is.
Oh man.
It's a great show. It's so much fun. They had a horrible situation here with COVID. They were ready to go. They did their dress rehearsal on Wednesday night. Thursday night, I heard it over the loudspeaker. Cast. Everyone report to the auditorium.
Oh no! So they prepped the whole thing and then couldn't do it.
Yeah, the whole thing. They had the set. They had everything was. They had brought in a set from Norwood. They had used it at the Norwood Theater.
Oh my God.
And I know there was a lot of great cast members. That was just so heartbreaking.
Probably all crying.
Because they
They're
just couldn't.
seniors,
That was
right?
it. They were not all of them, but yeah, they didn't. It was just not going to work again. It didn't.
Yeah,
So
so
that was
many
that.
hard things.
They didn't get to do it. So not to bring us down, but you just think of all the work that goes into
It's a lot of
something
work.
like that.
Yeah.
But it is a great show, and the guitar parts. The other one is Jesus Christ Superstar.
There's some fun guitars.
If I ever want to try to make like I know what I'm doing, I'll just play that dun, 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 the little the little riff, which is just like the lead guitarist is the star of the show. Well, sorry, Jesus.
Sorry, Jesus.
But I mean,
Well, if the lead guitar is the first thing you hear on that show,
Yeah.
no, 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 right?
Oh,
is
So-
that fun?
amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You like
Yeah.
that pressure. He likes that pressure. He's
Yeah.
a lead
I-
guitarist. Well, both of
I mean, it's like it kind of
Sets
goes with the
the-
territory.
Sets the
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
Tone of the show.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, in fact, I actually met the guy that did the touring. There was a touring version of Jesus Christ Superstar with Ted Neely
Yeah.
that was going around, and the guy who played guitar in that show is a friend of mine.
Okay.
And he told me that in his lifetime that he's played that show over 2,500 times.
Wow.
Wow.
You know,
He knows it by
and
heart.
yeah, I think by now he might.
It's definitely a show that people are passionate about.
Oh, sure.
Just for a lot of reasons, but
Yeah, he loved it.
yeah,
He loved it.
The music is definitely one of the biggest ones. I have to break out my '70s dance whenever I I won't do it right now.
You like to do it right now? Okay.
Well, the camera's not set up for it, but
Okay,
it,
all right.
it involves a lot of like kicks back. It's a little Elaine like from Seinfeld, if you ever saw that. Although I think I can do it a little better.
That's his 70s dance.
Yes.
His 60s is the Davy Jones. He does a great.
Davy Jones.
The Davy Jones dance, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
With the
I forget
maracas
the
or
name.
without?
Oh, without. Yeah, I should get the
Yeah.
maracas.
Yeah.
I want to
get
get the
those.
shirt.
Yeah.
The little
the
red
shirt.
shirt with the double-breasted. I don't know if you've seen this. People have seen this. Most people.
And
have
when it comes to Davey, I was always impressed that he was able to hold two maracas in one hand.
Right.
How did he do that?
Yeah.
seen. Oh, yeah, no, it's kind
You
of.
notice that?
You got
Rubber band?
because he doubles
Yeah.
up on the dance too. At least
Yeah.
doing that, But the Proud Mary thing. I don't know if I could wear the Tina Turner dress to
right.
pull that off, but not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
You know,
that's,
and,
that's right.
but that might be a little much. But she is pretty inspiring. Geez,
Julie, talk about you opened up for some big names.
Oh,
Talk
yeah.
about those, maybe a couple of those gigs. And what
So
that was like.
The big one for me was Joe Satriani. It was 1995, New Year's Eve, and we
Wow.
got to do 2 nights in a row. They were both sold out. And we had just released a record. It came out in 1995 also, like around the fall. And we'd played all over. And the funny thing was, it was in the 90s, so, it was the rise of Nirvana,
Grunge,
Soundgarden,
yeah.
Mudhoney, all
Yeah.
those ones. And it was in Seattle, so everything was huge right there. But
Oh,
we
geez.
just paved our own little way. We were playing with all the bands that sounded like them,
yeah.
doing instrumental metal. And so many times I heard, why don't you have a singer? But
Good for
we
you.
heard that Joe Satriani was coming to this theater in Portland called the Roseland. And the drummer in our band, Eric DeBauer, his sister lived in Vancouver, Washington, which is right over
Yeah,
the state
over the
line
border, yeah.
from Portland. So he's like, I'm just going to go down there. I'm going to stay with my sister. I'm going to drop off a promo pack. And he took it to the management company, the promotion company at that theater. And the guy was like, oh, wow, you guys really would be a good opener. So
Sweet.
we were like, oh my gosh, maybe we're in. But then they said, Joe's on tour in Europe. We got to hear back from his management company. So I was like, I'll call the management company. I called every day. And soon she was like, I haven't heard anything. And then the funny thing was, the guy at the promotion company's like, I'm just waiting to hear too, but you're it. Like, you're the one if he needs an opener.
Wow.
So then finally he called me, and I didn't get the message. He left it on my pager. Remember those days?
Pages.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, they chose somebody else. It's a British guy that sounds like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I was like, what? No, that's going to be me. No, that was supposed to be us. You promised us. Well, the management company, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know, whatever.
Right.
Then 10 minutes later, he calls back, the guy's been deported. Would you like the gig? And I said, I'm so sorry I hung up on you. Yes, we'll take the gig.
Like, did I hang up on you?
I'm so sorry, my hand slipped. But it was the dream come true.
There is a
That is
It
YouTube
was
video,
amazing.
and it's fantastic.
That is great.
Thank you. Yeah, we were a trio.
Yeah, that was
Crazy.
good. You guys are great together.
Yeah, we
You
had
can
a-
feel the energy and the playing.
Yeah,
is
we had a
fantastic.
good run, and that was our target audience. I mean, we never had that response at the
Yeah.
Red Roof Pub
Oh.
in Lakewood, but we did have a very loyal following, and that was the cool thing about
I love
stuff.
that. You know, it seems like people like yourselves, it's fine if you're going to play a little pub, or it's fine if it's a big theater or whatever, you know. That's fine too, right?
You just
Stage
do it
is a
all of
stage.
it's good. Yep.
That brings up a question, John. You mentioned earlier, I heard you say you played in a tennis court. What's your craziest gig in terms of location or setup for a craziest place you ever played?
The craziest? Boy, it's a pretty long, pretty long list. One of I was in a band that opened for a stripper.
Wow.
We came out,
headlining stripper.
and did our set, and then when we left, a stripper came out.
Wow.
Strangely enough, that's
So-
not an uncommon story. I think I've heard for a few bands, but
Yeah, I don't,
I've
that
not done
was,
that one.
yeah, good, yeah. As I
you're gonna be
didn't
probably
go back.
won't be doing that again. Huh?
No,
no.
definitely not.
How about you, Julie? Craziest setup?
There's so many. A lot of the hard ones are when you play at a wedding, and then you gotta load in, and you gotta walk through the kitchen, and then you gotta go up 3 flights of stairs, and then you gotta get to this back room. Those are hard. I've played at a lot of ski resorts, and there's this one. Which mountain? Cannon Mountain.
Was it Cannon Mountain?
I had to roll my amp. You've seen my amp. It's on this little rolling case. I had to roll it up a snowy hill. And I was trying to push, trying to get my footing. And this lady in skis, she's like, oh, let me help you. She takes off her skis and we pull it up together.
I was gonna
So
say-
it's mainly the load in that gets crazy. I've done a lot of outdoor stuff.
One time I played on the deck of the Winthrop Yacht Club,
Oh, fun.
and it was the day that the planes were coming into Logan, going directly over the yacht
Oh, my
club.
God.
And they weren't much higher than the
So
ceiling
it's
here.
like the landing strip
So
is right
playing
behind
along,
you.
music sounded great PA outdoors, and then here comes the 747.
Oh,
deafening.
My gosh.
Duck for the wheels,
Can't
right?
hear
Played
anything.
for everything, but no.
Are we still on the same
747,
song,
huh?
or are we in time? Oh,
Oh, wow.
plane after plane after plane.
All right. Well, I'm getting messages from
Uh-oh.
that we might be running a little bit long here, so we want to
Okay.
make sure we cover a few things. I don't know time-wise with the editing, and this goes on the air, but I think you guys have a record release party
We do.
coming up, right?
Yep, it's
so-
June 2nd.
Yeah.
The Red Line Inn in Cohasset,
Mhm.
8 p.m. There's a link for tickets, but you can find it at my website,
Okay.
julifin.com/calendar.
Which is JULIFINN.com.
Yeah.
JulieFinn.com,
calendar.
yeah.
Or just go to julifin.com and navigate from there.
Yeah, that's the place to go, right?
Yeah.
Get all the information.
And what's the start time?
8 p.m.
8
8 p.m. That's a lovely little place. The Red Lion.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the
Yeah.
old. I know they got a new for the hall. I don't know where, but anyway,
It's called The
I
Cave.
always loved the Red Lion.
Yeah,
So.
Right.
delightful. It's awesome.
And any more music coming out? And yeah.
Well, yeah, we're actually, but we're hoping to debut a couple of new Jon Finn group tunes at that show.
Yep.
And as soon as we wrap that show up, we're gonna well, I've been I just finished up my Berkeley semester just last week, so I've been kind of busying myself trying to write new material.
We've had
So-
so many things we put together. We just
Yeah.
haven't finalized it.
Yeah, I have like a bunch of like half-written tunes. So so sort of what we're doing is sort of like pouring through it and see if there's
see what
anything
works.
there, and just trying to write new stuff. I mean,
Yep.
Julie, Julie writes songs so, like when Julie writes songs, they literally start like falling out of her pocket. Whoops, whoops,
Uh-oh.
like literally falling out of her pockets, like just one after
There's
another.
been a lot
That's awesome.
lately.
So
Do you guys like? Is that a good collaboration? You're trying to figure out like
I
how
think
you
so.
gonna-
Yeah,
Yeah, we do stuff on our own, and then we come together
It's great.
yeah.
and write things together. We're
Yeah.
excited.
I think it's important for each of us to kind of do our own thing, but also, like I mean, it's really easy to play guitar with Julie.
Yeah.
It's like from the first time that we played together, I just really felt like there was a great, musical chemistry.
Yeah.
Which has been amazing. So but at the same time, it's always good to sort of keep other forces at work too.
Yeah. Yeah. Come together and
Yeah.
work, and then do your own, and
Yep.
Yeah.
tell everybody again where they can get the new album.
Okay, so the new album is called Tribute, and it's if you just type into any streaming platform.
John and Juli
so
Finn,
Jon
Juli
and
Finn,
Juli-
John Finn,
Yeah.
either end of
Yeah,
those.
Jon Finn, Juli Finn, Jon and Juli, Tribute, Bonnie Raitt. So it's so it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on Apple Music,
Google.
it'll be on Google Play, Amazon.
I have it on
If you
YouTube
want-
music.
Yeah, and on YouTube,
YouTube
music as well.
music.
Yeah, it's very
And
good.
then also, if you want a physical CD, that's only available at julifin.com.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, hey, it's been so great having you guys on.
for
Just such
having
fun.
us.
We could talk all day. I could. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know,
I
I
got more
could.
things. We didn't even get to talk too much about the ukulele. Sorry, how we tomato. But anyway, it's good, great stuff. If they want lessons and things like that, you guys.
Yeah, we have it all at julifin.com.
Right.
Guitar lessons, ukulele. We do online a group called Julie's Ukulele Club. We have songwriting club starting up soon, and we have guitar club.
Yes. Oh, and the other thing too, September 3rd, I'm going to be doing. Julie and I are going to be doing a one-day guitar workshop at our home. So
Keep tuned for that,
yeah.
because
So stay
that's gonna be
tuned for
some-
that. There's going to be a lot more details coming out about
Great.
that. So like if you're, if you're looking for like a day-long guitar boot camp, we have some pretty exciting plans in the works for that.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard you agreed to play us out, as they say.
Right on.
Okay.
So, okay. What are you going to play for us?
Well, let's see. So, how about that Bonnie Raitt tune, "Give It Up or Let Me Go"?
That's a fun tune.
It's a true blues.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
It's a
so-
blues, and it's in B flat too.
Our favorite key.
So yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time on The Gig Show. But take it away, Jon and Juli.
Thank you.
Well, I told you, pretty baby, such a long time ago. When I find you with another, when I walk right out your door, well, you might call me crazy, but there's one thing you should know. Well, honey, if you want me to love, you've got to give it up or let me go. I know it's useless to be jealous. Couldn't tell you if I tried.